As many as 80 companies are at different stages of approval for their proposed IPOs, a quarter of these belonging to the new age or next frontier sectors: electric mobility, fintech, direct-to-home trade and deliveries, and the like. This after a lull in the IPO space that lasted almost 6 months. The Indian startup space seems to be benefiting most from this bounce back in the primary markets, a reversal that can be attributed to the relative easing of global geopolitical tensions. More and more firms, of which a large percentage are startups, are beginning to aggressively look towards listings and are expediting IPO filings they are likely to make in the times to come. Indian startups seemed to have fallen out of favor among investors in the years 2023-24, largely due to inflated valuations. This scenario too seems to be changing, with them being able to raise as much as 14,418 crores of rupees in funding in February 2025. This was 19.5% more than the amount raised by startups in January 2025, which stood at 11,803 crores of rupees. While this is still less than the amount raised by startups in February 2024, amount which stood at 17,619 crores of rupees, it definitely points to a positive shift in sentiments. This is evident from the fact that the year 2024 witnessed a total of 1.23 lakh crore rupees raised in terms of funding, a figure that was over 27% more than the amount raised by startups in 2023. Little wonder then that some startups like Ather Energy have readjusted their issue size and valuations in order to attract more investor participation. The IPO that came out in the third week of April was oversubscribed 1.5 times, adding to confidence amongst Indian startups. Factors fueling the certitude among startups are the recent ceasefire between India and Pakistan, as well as recent progress in tariffs between US and China, following which the tone of the markets too seems to have become constructive. Picture this. The SENSEX had hit an all-time high of close to 86,000 in September 2024, slid 15% to 73,000 in early March 2025, only to bounce back to 82,500 levels by mid-May 2025. This is also why companies are looking more actively towards primary issuance components of their IPOs. With the current momentum, the second half of the calendar year is likely to witness a flurry of IPOs, particularly from companies that had put their plans to go public on hold. Prominent startups that are preparing to enter the primary markets are Zepto, Pine Labs, Lenskart, Grow, Imagine Marketing, which is the parent company of the consumer electronics brand Boat, PhonePe, just to name a few. Others like PhysicsWallah and Urban Company have already filed their draft IPO papers with SEBI. There's positivity in the markets, and startups are back to what they have always been meant to be, in a risk-on mode.